everybody. Thank you all for coming out today. It's a beautiful day outside, so we appreciate you taking time with us. As I introduce here Norimi Kusanagi, who's featured in our current show called Botanicals. And we're very excited to learn about her techniques and processes she uses in her pressed floral works that also utilize a lot of other materials as well. So it's my pleasure to have Norimi take it away. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for coming today. Everyone, welcome. My name is Norimi Kusanagi. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm excited about sharing my own experience as an Oshibana artist. First of all, I'd like to make a special thank you to Bainbridge Arts and Craft and their staff for having invited me to be in this month's exhibition, along with the Katie Gilmore and then Aaron McKnight. And I'm also grateful for their giving me opportunity today to talk and demonstrate how I press flowers. For the brief outline of today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the pressed flower in general. And I'll talk about myself and my own experience, particularly how I became interested in pressed flowers and how I got inspired to create my artwork and so on. And then after that, I'd like to move on to demonstration, followed by question and answer at the end. So please bear with me. I'll make sure to watch time and then leave enough time to demonstration. But if I start talking too much or too long about myself, you can stop me by yelling or sending me a signal like a big yawn. Then I stop talking immediately and move on to demonstration right away. Anyway, I hope you can enjoy my talk and demonstration. By the end, each of you will hopefully have learned something new about pressed flowers. Well, let me introduce myself a little bit. My husband, sitting over there, my husband and I, we live on the Bainbridge Island for the last 20 years. Before that, we lived in Seattle for 16 years, raising 2 boys at the Wallingford area. And before that, I was born in Japan and lived in Sapporo, Hokkaido, for the first 30 years of my life. And Sapporo is on the same latitude as Seattle, but Sapporo has a lot more snow in winter. So I'm happy to have escaped from snow and then very cold winter, and finally have settled down on such a beautiful Bainbridge Island. But 1984, I came to the United States as a student. I went to University of Washington to pursue for my graduate study on American literature, which had nothing to do with pressed flowers. After I got degrees, I was going to go back to Japan to teach, but some way I ended up staying in Seattle for job offers. And then later I became American citizen. So I have a vote this November. Yeah. Anyway, later I'm going to talk a little bit more about my personal background, but this is a brief introduction of myself. Well, I've been creating Oshibana art for the last 10 years or so. I used to walk here in the Winslow area early in the morning looking for flowers and leaves in season for pressing. I still do walk, but not as often as I used to. So while walking on the path, if I see something beautiful or something unusual, something interesting, I discreetly pick up and bring it home to press. There's sometimes cherry blossom beautifully blooming in spring, and sometimes they're Japanese maple leaves turning red and orange in fall. Whatever season it is, I enjoy walking by viewing the changes in nature. And this is my favorite part of my Oshibana routine. And of course, I buy flowers at the TNC Flower Shop and the Farmers Market and the Island Flower Gardens. We do also have a small garden in our property. And over the last 10 years, I've come up with the over 1,000 different floral design using pressed flowers. As an Oshibana artist, I create Oshibana artwork like what you see in the exhibition. My artwork in the earlier year, though, was very, very simple and was not as detailed as these pieces. So in a way, I hope my artwork have evolved. But at the same time, I realize that it is the simplicity of design that best reveals the beauty of pressed flowers. I also call myself an accidental artist because I didn't go to school to study art. And I also consider myself the beginner artist because I still have a lot to learn as an artist and as an Oshibana artist. While most artists spend 20 or 30 years at least in developing their art, it is my humble opinion that my 10 years of doing art is almost nothing. So I like to continue to do what I've been doing, and I like to continue to enjoy learning new things over the next 10 years. By the way, have you ever heard of the word Oshibana before? Just in case you never heard of the Oshibana before, let me quickly explain what it means. Oshibana is a Japanese term meaning pressed flowers or pressing flowers. Oshi is to press, and bana, hana, is flowers. So Oshibana is pressed flowers in Japanese. I might use this word often during my talk today, hoping you get used to it. The word Oshibana originated in Japan back to 16th century, so it has a long history. According to one of the statistics, it is said that there are today as many as 400,000 people in Japan alone who are engaged in Oshibana business and Oshibana activities. And this number sounds a lot. The number includes those people who are doing Oshibana professionally and those people who are taking classes, seminar, workshop to become Oshibana instructors. In Japan, there are so many Oshibana instructors, and it's also cost a lot of money to become a certified Oshibana instructors. And also this number includes the people simply enjoying the Oshibana as their hobby. So I don't know how many people doing Oshibana or Oshibana art in America, but there are as many people today. By the way, has anybody here pressed flower before? Okay, quite a lot. That surprised me. Well, thank you. I think it's because of the spread of technology like YouTube videos. I'm sure Oshibana quickly gaining popularity not only in America but also all over the world. So Oshibana, the word Oshibana today is adopted as an internationally common word among the Oshibana lovers and Oshibana followers. So wherever flower grow, there exists Oshibana and an Oshibana artist as well. Oshibana is very simple and easy to learn. Once you have the right tools and learn how to use those tools, anybody can enjoy Oshibana and anybody can become Oshibana artist. And this is my belief after my experience. So I hope you get a little bit motivated to try Oshibana after today. I also want to say Oshibana is as low-tech as you can imagine. Pressing flower does not require any complicated skills, knowledge, not even passwords. And that is such a relief. I always mess up with my passwords. So all you need is flower, of course, and your interest in learning, and most of all, lots of love to flowers. That's all you need to enjoy Oshibana. That's simple. I have brought one Oshibana product as an example I wanted to show you. I didn't make these myself, but somebody in Japan made these beautiful Oshibana coasters. Yeah. And they are sold in New York in a small boutique shop. And so as you see, you know, real Oshibana petals are beautifully embedded in these coasters. So this is one example, many Oshibana products created and sold in Japan everywhere. There are also many other Oshibana products you might have seen. For instance, Oshibana earrings, Oshibana necklaces, Oshibana candles, Oshibana chopstick stands, Oshibana iPhone covers. Yes, there is. Oshibana nails, Oshibana pedicures, Oshibana scarves, Oshibana shopping bags, and so on. And there are so many creative Oshibana products available today. So there might be Oshibana tattoos sometime in the future. I don't know. Now you might wonder what I make. I do not make Oshibana necklaces, Oshibana candles, but I do make these cards. I've been enjoying creating these cards with different floral images from different seasons. And Bainbridge Arts and Craft has been carrying these cards for the last 8 years. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Now let me explain the process of how I create Oshibana artwork, like these cards and these pieces in the exhibition. One of the questions, by the way, that I get frequently asked is, how long does it take to press flowers? Well, according to my experience using a Japanese Oshibana kit, it takes 3 to 4 days to press flowers. But also it depends on the flowers. Some flowers contain more or less moisture than the others. For instance, some flowers like viola or hydrangeas take shorter time than the other flowers like camellia or orchids. Camellia takes a week or 10 days. But when it comes to orchid, it takes forever. Last year, my son got married, and his wife saved her beautiful wedding bouquet with the orchid. And she carefully brought it back home from Palm Springs to Seattle. So I ended up pressing some of the orchid petals. Boy, it took me at least 1 month, to press until completely dry. So orchid is one of the flowers that slowly release the moisture during the pressing. And the orchid is an exception. But most of the flowers, again, it takes 3 to 4 days to be pressed. It also depends on the type of pressing flower kit that you might choose. I only use the Japanese Oshibana kit. So therefore, I don't know for sure how long it will take to press the flowers using the other kits. But I understand that most of the other kits might take a little bit longer. Well, after I complete the pressing, I start working on the composition of my artwork. Well, I spend a lot of time to get the right composition by moving and shuffling and rotating Oshibana pieces. Once composition determined, I look at the entire image and decide if the image needs the background color or not. If I decide to add the colors, I choose watercolor, pastel, and a Japanese paper called the washi, and all combined. By the way, I brought the sample of washi paper just in case some of you have never seen the washi paper. So you're welcome to pass around, and maybe and you can touch and feel it. So, well, actually, I fell in love with the washi paper when I was in the paper store in Kyoto. Every time I go back to Japan, I try to get more and then bring them back home. And well, this is an example of my Oshibana artwork integrating with the washi paper. So you see the washi paper in the middle. These are Japanese anemone that I picked and pressed last fall. So whatever medium I choose, I think I should be very careful because I don't want the background color to interfere, dominate, nor compete against the color of the pressed flowers. So sometimes I decided not to add any colors for the background because pressed flowers already show their strong colors and their beauty enough. Once the composition and the background colors are set, I glue all the Oshibana pieces on the art paper. I use a toothpick to apply a glue. I use the Oshibana glue that I buy in Japan. It costs about $3 or something. But you can use any other glue that you can find, even like Elmer's. Yeah, and it's fine. The importance is, I believe, how much glue you use. I used to use a large amount of glue, and I ended up making a glue stain around the pressed flowers or on the pressed flowers, so it looks so messy. So I learned to use a very small amount of glue successfully with the toothpick. According to my experience, small amount of glue is good enough to hold everything together. For the last stage, I stamp it with my custom-made stamp. And I wrote a little bit about my custom stamp on my artist statement, so I'm not going to talk about it. But then I scanned the entire artwork through a scanner. And once I obtained the scanned images, I use the images to create the cards and posters and digital prints. Like digital prints are like these. Now let me share my story of how I became interested in pressed flowers or how I became an accidental Oshibana artist. First of all, I must admit that I was not interested in flowers at all. I was not the flower girl, no flower lady. Unfortunately, my eyes were always on something else. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was always like that for such a long time. Well, in my early 20s, my mom started pushing me to start taking classes. Well, in Japan, when a girl turns age 20 or so, it is a kind of tradition or prerequisite for young girls to start taking classes in preparation for marriage. Classes like cooking, tea ceremony, flower arrangement called ikebana are popular ones. But I was resistant against taking any of those traditional classes. My mom knew it and she was clever. So one day she came back to me and told me that she already paid the tuition for me to take ikebana class. So I just couldn't say no. I decided to give it a try, even if I was still not interested in learning. However, with my negative attitude, my interest didn't last long. After 3 months, I quit. Now I know that wasn't a smart decision, and I can imagine today that my decision at that time made my mom so sad, feel sad. On the contrary, I have a sister who listened to her mom well and then took a class and studied Ikebana for 25 years. As the result, she became a certified Ikebana teacher in Japan, although she does not teach today, nor does she get married. Back to my case. Although I didn't master Ikebana class at all, somewhere I was fortunate enough to find the right guy in America to get married. We started family right away and a busy life followed. Still, I was not interested in flowers. So you might wonder what changed. Well, about 10 years ago, I was going through menopause and having a difficult time accepting my body changes. I was mentally down and sometimes I got depressed. It was during those times. One day I was in Japan visiting my family. My sister-in-law showed me one day a sample of pressed flowers that she has collected. Well, I've never seen pressed flower before. So among the sample, I remember that there was beautiful pink pressed cherry blossoms. The colors were still vibrant and they look so fragile. At the same time, they're so beautiful. I was struck by the beauty and fragility coexisting in such tiny pressed cherry blossoms. By the end of the trip, my sister-in-law bought me the Japanese Oshibana starting kit as a gift. After I returned to the United States, I started using the kit and pressing everything. I mean everything, even including the weed-like horsetails. It was a lot of fun, and that's how I got started. And that is how accidentally my Oshibana adventure began. And as everybody knows, the flower has a certain healing elements on us, and I experienced it. I'm sure you might have a similar experience with the flower in your past. So Oshibana could become your healing art. Well, I do not have any particular Oshibana teachers, but the flower is always my teacher. They taught me so many things, and then they are the one who helped me to create my artwork, and they're the one who led me to where I am today. Another important thing I learned through practicing Oshibana is to embrace the sense of enjoyment. Recently, I heard something interesting mentioned by a Japanese brain scientist. Well, he said, even though AI, artificial intelligence, can copy everything from human brain and can do amazing things like writing paper, cleaning the floor for us, there's one thing, though, AI cannot do yet. Can you guess what that is? He said AI does not have a sense of enjoyment, even though it knows exactly what it's doing. AI doesn't know if it's having the good time, even though it can clean the floor perfectly for us. On the contrary, we human beings, even though we may not be able to clean the floor as perfectly as AI, we can enjoy, have a lot of fun, even cleaning the floor. So whatever we do, whatever level we are, beginners or advanced, we can have fun, and then we can have a sense of enjoyment. This is such a wonderful quality that we human beings possess, he said. So I like to embrace this sense of enjoyment because having the good time is my biggest motivation to continue today as an Oshibana artist. Well, how's the timing? Okay. Let's move on, and let me show you my Oshibana tools. First of all, scissors, blade, tweezers, and Oshibana pressing kits, and the dictionary, and tissue paper, and the heating pad, and so on. So let me ask you, among these tools, what do you think the most important tools for creating Oshibana? Well, actually, these are all important tools, though. Can you guess? Heating pad could be. Yeah. Okay. Well, I would vote tweezers. Do you know why? Once flowers get pressed, they get dry and crispy and fragile. So you'll find it extremely difficult to pick them up by fingers. Therefore, you need that tweezer like these. There are all different shapes and sizes, but I prefer this tweezer the best. So my next important tools are pressing flower kits. So these are pressing flower kits. And I want to talk a little bit about them. Well, in old days, there is no such thing as an Oshibana kit. So you must have heard that the people inserting flowers in books and yellow pages to make Oshibana. Today, if you are seriously interested in making Oshibana, I recommend that you have one of these pressing kits. But you don't have to buy any of these Japanese kits. If you search for Oshibana kit on Amazon, you'll find all different kinds of Oshibana kits available for sale today. The first kit that might come to your attention is microwave Oshibana kit. Yes, there's such thing as microwave Oshibana kit today. And this is a Japanese version of it. I'm not going to explain inside, but you can find the English version with English instruction on Amazon. And best thing about using this kit is that you can make Oshibana instantly. For instance, it takes only 20 or 30 seconds for flowers like a Biora to be pressed. So you don't need to wait a few days to get the result. So if you have the kids and the grandkids, it will be a lot of fun to create the Oshibana together. So highly recommended. So, and another Oshibana kit that I like to show you is this one, this way. And this kit looked a little bit funny because I broke one of the buckles last year and I wasn't able to fix it. So I used the clips to clamp them together. But anyway, this kit was designed by a famous Japanese artist for the purpose of traveling. When you travel, you go to different places. You get to see all different flowers as well. So I take this kit wherever I go. However, Oshibana usually takes a certain weight to be added on the top of the pressing flowers kit. This kit is designed to work without adding any weight. So you don't need to look for something as a weight when you're staying in a hotel room or so. It is a great Oshibana kit for traveling. So I'm going to show you how I press flower using this pressing kit. Well, by the way, just keep in mind that all Oshibana kit that I'm showing you today, those are just one of the many different methods for pressing flowers. So when you choose a different kit, you might notice there is some different instruction. But it's okay because the instructions are always similar and easy to follow. So, well, let's open this kit and see what's in it. And let me explain what's in it. So you see there are two types of paper. and one is thicker, and then this one. So let me explain the thicker paper. These papers called the drawing paper, drawing sheets, or you can call it the blotting paper or absorbent paper. And the function of this paper is observe the furniture, I mean not furniture, sorry, observe the moisture from the flower that you press. I understand there's certain chemical added into this paper so that in order to enhance the moisture absorption. So once you start using this kit, you'll notice that this paper gets damp during the pressing. So you can make them dry again, throwing microwave, so that you can reuse them again and again. So let me explain the other paper. Other paper is called the cushion paper, the thinner than the drawing sheets. So the flower that you're going to want to press will be inserted between these sheets of the cushion paper. So let me show you exactly how I press using these papers. And actually, I stack these paper together. So first, let me make some space. First, I put the drawing paper at the bottom, and then a cushion sheet on the top of it. And so now you're ready to start laying out the flowers to press that you want to press. So let's start choosing the flowers. And right now the hydrangea is beautifully blooming everywhere. So let's start with hydrangeas. And these hydrangeas are from my gardens. And then I went to TNC and asked them to add some more flowers. So somebody at the TNC flower shop made it beautifully. I didn't make it. Anyway, so let's see, take this. So as you see that the hydrangea is a little bit full and round, so you cannot press them like this. So what I do is I usually cut them into small size. Okay, something like that. And maybe I can put more. Right? Okay. Then, so I can spread. So there, when you lay the flowers, there are a few simple rules to remember. You have to, you cannot make it crowded, and you have to leave some space between the petals and the flowers. So in other words, social distancing is also important in the Oshibana world. Anyway, and then after you finished with the flower that you want to press, then you add another sheet of cushion paper on directly on top of the flower, and then drying sheets of paper. So this complete one set. So you see always flowers in place between the cushion sheets and sandwiched with the drawing sheets on each side. So this is one set. And then now you can repeat the same process, and you're ready to set for another set, second set. So start with the cushion paper and continue to cut. And then let me choose some other. So let me. So these yellow flowers, kind of type of cosmos, I believe, and but I don't know the name of the English names. All I know is a Japanese name. It's called Kibana cosmos in Japanese, but they're from my gardens. So anyway, my next flowers I want to press, and well, you see the stem. This is kind of thin stem, so usually you have a choice, either leave it on or you can cut it. So or sometimes you just leave it with the stem together and push it a little bit like this. And let's see. Then I can put the, they're started wilting a little bit, so I have to hurry. Another rule that I can tell you is that usually I cut them, cut the flower head from the stem, and then also I take all the leaves and then press them separately. So this one is, I have to think, maybe I can press them like this, but then sometimes I usually cut it pieces, because as I said, that one of the rules is do not overlay or overstack. So I think, let's see. So, and then the spread. Or something like this. And sometimes, okay, then they put the another cushion sheet on top of it, and then drawing sheets like this. And then let's do one more thing. Okay, another cushion sheet, and probably this one. And do you know what the name of the flower? I didn't know. I didn't know it, but somebody told me this is called the limonium. Have you heard the limonium? Yeah. Oh, somebody's saying nodding. Okay. And then so limonium, limonium. Okay. So this one you don't have to chop into small pieces. Just I lay them like this, and then also I like to show you how to take care of the stems. Sometimes the stem this thick, if you press them, you can't do a good job. So in that case, I use the blade and then cut in half. So hopefully I can do well without hurting. So something like this. So this side is flat, so that helps to sit better and then press. And then sometimes the stem contains a lot of moisture for flowers. So you see, sometimes you see trapped moisture or water. And then in that case, I use tissue paper and then wipe it. And that helps. So sometimes I, let's see, I cut a little bit to help the stem to release the moisture, something like this. So, and put it like this. And okay, and then after that, put the cushion paper, drying sheets, something like that. So this kit allows you to stack as many as 5 sets altogether. I'm not going to do 5 sets, but let's pretend that all of them are done. So after you put everything, you can put them back into the plastic bag carefully. And sometimes the air is trapped, so let the air out and then tight, close the bag with tight closure, something like that. And then, so it's almost done. And well, sometimes, if you choose a different kit, that might allow you to stack as many as the 20 or, the 30, stacks. But this one is only allow you to stack 5 set. And and then after this, I usually put the weight on top of it. So I use the dictionary like this, few of them like this on the top of it. And then again, I should let the air out. Open it and let the air out, and then close it again. So, and then this way you can leave it undisturbed for next 3-4 days. And so let me see. And also, I just want to explain a little bit about the heater, heating pad. Well, I sometimes use the heating pad only for the flower like camellia. And usually camellia has a lot of moisture, so that the heating pad usually helps to remove the moisture during the pressing, and then help to shorten the pressing time. So, but every time I use the heating pad, I keep it on the lowest setting. I said that the instructions said that leave it undisturbed for next 4 or 5 days. But I usually do one thing while waiting. That is, I come back and first after 24 hours, I come back and then I open the bag and then see if all the flowers are being properly pressed or not. And then when you open the bag, and then and the first thing you notice is that these drying papers get damp. So this is the time that change the damped paper, and I would call it the diaper change. Diaper change make the flower happier, and then shorten the pressing time. So I usually do it, and then sometimes, well, if you see that this drying paper get damp, that means it's a good sign, because this paper, drying paper, absorb the moisture from the flower that you pressed. So then in that case, you have to remove this drying paper, and then and use a new clean, dry, paper instead. So, and then Sometimes if you open the bag, you can tell whether they're done or not. And then if you're not, if they're completely done, you can tell they're done because they look crispy and dry. But sometimes when you look at it, and then you cannot tell they're quite done, you know, although they look done. So in that case, there is a test, for instance, you can touch the center. Okay, you can touch the center of the flower head, and then this area, the center of the flower head, gets a little bit damp or cold, then that means it's not quite done. So in that case, you have to put everything back into the bag, and then continue to press another day or two. So, but anyway, I think I covered most of it. So I'll be happy to show you the sample of the pressed flower that I did. So this bag contains the what I pressed 5 days ago. So I can show you. Maybe you can get closer to take a look, or. So let's see. So actually, this is a moment. This is my favorite moment. It's almost like a wow moment because when you open it, you get to see the flower that you pressed turn into transformed into the new level of beauty. So after 5 days, like this, and this. So hopefully this is a wow moment for you too.
It's really amazing how the colors look so true.
Yes, pretty much, yes. Actually, I don't know the name of the flowers, but they're from my garden, and then they're almost white when I picked them up, but after the pressing, the pink color came back a little bit, so I was surprised. And so again, the Kibana Cosmos that we pressed 5 days later, they're just like that. So yeah, so compared with it's almost, the color turned darker, but so and then one last thing, I want to show you more sample of what I pressed earlier and then this year. So let me. So these are Hilabos. Yeah. Okay. And more Hilabos. More. And some hydrangea leaves. And hydrangeas. So, well, actually, I was telling you that I cut the stem in half to remove the moisture, and that helps the pressing time shorter. So And then these are, I don't know if you could see, yeah. And then stems. And then these are the flowers that I bought at the TNC a little while ago. I think it's called the blue lace or something. Let's see, like this. And then cherry blossom this year, like that. Okay, and then one more thing. And these are dogwood, yeah, and Japanese maple from our garden, and Queen Anne lace, I think. Oops. And Japanese maple. They're all from one tree, same one tree. And these are Rhodie and Azaria this year. Yeah. So, and these are Geum. So more Geum. And then the last one is black elderberry. So that's all the sample, and hopefully you enjoy viewing these pressed flowers. So I think, well, I missed some of it, but I think it's okay. Let me stop my talk, and then well, this concludes my talk and then demonstration. And thank you so much for your attention. And so, thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
I do. I have one. Yes. How well does Oshibana hold up being exposed to strong natural light, like in direct sunlight?
Yeah, thank you. The question is how long the Oshibana can hold up to the lots of sunlight, you mean?
Yes.
I think it's the Oshibana they don't like the direct sunlight.
Okay.
That's a fact. And because they're organic material, and then I think that so definitely you have to avoid the sunlight as much as you can. Okay, so when people are interested in buying these pieces, and then some of the question they ask is, you know, how do they take care of them? And then I usually tell them that you have to keep them somewhere in the room, wouldn't have much direct sunlight. And that's the best place to keep the Oshibana. Yeah, and also maybe keep the artwork. Well, you should avoid the kind of the moisture area like bathrooms, because the water doesn't like, Oshibana doesn't like water. So I think that you have to avoid the direct sunlight and then moisture in order to keep them well. So any other questions?
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
I have about 10, but I'll ask 2. And I'm sorry I came late, so if you already...
Oh, that's okay.
I apologize. In some of the pieces here, I left the gallery and was looking at this beautiful show that you've made.
Thank you.
In some of the pieces, I can see where you use watercolors a little wash, but I think also some of them might say that there's some pastel.
Pastel, yeah.
Yeah, so where are you applying the pastel when you're creating these pieces? Is it actually on to brighten some of the flowers? Or is
No.
a wash a background I'm not seeing very well?
Yeah, so her question is about the pastels that I use on these pieces. Well, so when I explained that after I finished pressing the flowers, and I usually shuffle and rotate all the pieces, and so and then I finished the composition, and then after that I just kind of remove, or sometimes I use a different art paper, and then then you can add some the pastel colors or watercolors or washi paper, and then if you're done with the adding those colors, then slowly you can transfer all the Oshibana pieces into that paper. So it's let's see. In other words, well, before this, I work the composition of this, and then I usually get another piece of paper, and adding these things, and then I transfer all the pieces slowly, carefully into this paper. So something like that. So. Then after that, you glue them. Glue all the Oshibana pieces together into the paper. So that's the kind of the process. So, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And then the only other question I'll ask you is, how does the color remain so well after you press them? I've been pressing flowers for years in a plant press.
Yeah.
And the color is not vivid like your.
Well, you might ask flowers, but I think I would say that it's because of the pressing flower kits that I use. I think, as I said, these papers, especially drawing paper, has a certain chemical that help retain the colors as well. So I think it's. I've never tried the Oshibana using the other kits, so I don't know. But then, as long as I use these Japanese pressing kit, really amazing, because they're the one who do the good job, and then retain the color of the pressed flowers. So
the magic is in the kit as well as the artist.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all your questions.
I also imagine that there's almost no waste when you're doing this kind of art. It looks to me like there's almost everything is put to use, and there's almost no waste. Is that true?
No waste.
No waste. Nothing gets. Very little gets thrown away.
Oh, no waste. You mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think it's, the flower is alive, and then they're the one who sacrificed their lives to give it to me. So sometimes I try to be very careful not to waste those flowers. So, but sometimes I cannot keep up with them. Once the flower is around, blooming, starting blooming, and then well, my eyes are always this and that, and then I end up pressing so many of them. But sometimes I don't have enough time to make the artwork using all the enough pressed flowers. So sometimes I have a bunch of bags that I kept. Those are bags for the old pressed flowers. Some of them was, retain the colors. Some of the pressed flowers that I pressed maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and then sometimes I forget those flowers, and then and sometimes I go back and then open the bag, and then wow, they still have the color, retain the colors, So I think, it's amazing. So I think nowadays technology, or I don't know what it is, but I think these pressing flower kits amazing. So I heard, I recommend that you use the pressing flower, one of the pressing flower kits that I explained today. So.
Where can you buy those kits?
Well, I think it's Amazon. When you type the pressing flower kit, on Google or whatever, then you get to see all different the pressing flower kits coming in, coming out, and then I wish I could buy a bunch of Japanese pressing flower kits like this one, because this is so simple. You know, anybody can make oshibana easily using this kit. But I had problems ordering them and having them shipped to our house. I used to be able to order them directly to our house, but then this year, some way I wasn't able to do it. So, but anyway, you can find all different, you know, pressing flower kits you can find here. So, and just enjoy the flowers, and that's the most important. So, thank you. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
We hope you'll join us here at Bainbridge Arts and Crafts to see Botanicals, featuring new works by Katie Gilmore, Norimi Kusanagi, and Aaron McKnight, on view from July 5th through the 28th.